This is 4A and B. This is the first combination on the course. Two big tables. It's the protecting tables. Francis, what do you think? I mean, to me it's a reasonably straightforward combination, but quite stands up at you.
Yeah, I looked at this coming up to them for the first time today. And we've got a nice run down. This is a run downhill to it. And in fact, by the time you've landed, you are going to have a little bit of a drop onto, a little drop after this fence before we then travel on down to part B. Now, you know, me personally, I never walk any of my distances. It's just something I choose not to do or don't do. But when you walk this or you've set these fences out, what are you looking at distance-wise? What are you
To me, I think they'll land in sort of 2 or 3 yards after this. So normally you'd say 1, 2, and you'd say that would be their landing point. But actually, when I look at where they're approaching this from, which is quite a distance away on a fairly straightforward gallop, I think they'll make another yard off of that. So I think they'll land out here, which gives it quite a decent drop on that.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
And then from here, I'd say they'd go probably, because they're early in the course, they'll probably go on a level 4 yards. So it's 4 of my strides for every 1 horse stride. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm thinking they're going to get sort of here. Yeah. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think you need to allow for that sort of big jump over the first. When they land, the higher the fence is, especially on the landing side, the further they travel, and certain types of fences kick them out a little bit further.
This one, when you look at this fence, it looks a lot smaller compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Is this because of the placing here, or is it? Or
We
are
measure
the
the fence. We measure the fence off of the takeoff point. So when I walk round with the TD, so this fence will be measured from back here. So as a show jump, when you measure a show jump, you measure it straight up the front of it. Whereas with a cross-country fence, you measure it from the takeoff point. So when you have that little drop on that, it means you can get, although it's only 1.20 m, only 1.20 m, it is 1.20 m from takeoff point. Actually, if you measure down the front of it, it's probably much closer to 1.60 m in height. It's probably closer to sort of 4'9", 5 foot in actual height down the front. Yeah.
And do you have to measure the drop at the back of the fence? Is it?
We're not allowed to go over 2 meters at this level.
Okay.
Drop. So, but that wouldn't be that. That would probably be, you know, probably 1.60 m, 1.70 m on the back side of that, I should think.
It's a nice fence again. Start putting the dimensions in, jumping a little wider, stretches the horses out before, and I take it, we start to head back
from
down
here
there.
it starts to get more serious, and actually you start to get into those sort of combinations much more.
Yeah.